Sure. Okay, folks, we have a quorum, so we'll call the meeting to order. The Cumberland Finance Subcommittee meeting Thursday, March 11th, 2021 at 5:17 PM. In accordance with Governor McKee's Executive Order 21-21, I didn't know he issued any, dated March 3rd, 2021, the Cumberland School Committee intends to conduct this meeting remotely. The public can participate in this meeting remotely, but not in person, by calling area code 301-715-8592. The webinar ID is 927-4184-1864. Or you can join the Zoom meeting program by going to the Cumberland School Department events calendar, and the link will be there, and the passcode is 305141. So the first order of business is item A, compliance with the governor's executive order. Mike, is there adequate means? I mean, I see town school employees, but I don't see anyone from the public.
Yep, but they can get in now.
Okay, great, thank you. So there is adequate means for the public to attend. I need approval of the minutes from February 25th, 2021. Anyone have any questions or anything, Carrie?
I apologize. Should we approve the agenda first?
Oh, yeah, I'm sorry. All right, I need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll motion to approve.
Motion by Carrie,
Second.
second by Mr. Collins. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it 3-0. Next, approval of the minutes from February 25th, 2021. Anyone?
I'll motion to approve.
Motion by Mrs. Smith. Mr. Collins, you second?
Second.
All in favor? Ayes
Aye.
have it 3-0. Next is payment of the bills. We have two registers in the folder tonight. Let's deal with the first one, the payment of invoice in the amount of $1,378,312.29. Does anyone have any questions for the business manager? I didn't recognize the business manager got a haircut. In regards to that set of invoices. Hearing none, I need a motion to approve.
Motion.
Motion to approve.
Sorry.
Motion by Mr. Collins, second by Mrs. Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Ayes have it 3-0 on the $1,378,312.29. Next is the approval of the $857,705.92. And that is for the Rhode Island Mayoral Academies. I need a motion to approve unless there's any questions. Hearing none, I need a motion.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Collins,
Second.
second by Mrs. Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Have it 3-0 reluctantly. All right, next is the business office monthly reports. Mr. Pignano.
Yeah, thanks, Paul. Good evening, everyone. Couple of things, while maybe you're opening up the report, I know Mrs. Shabbat put it in your drives the other day. So while you're doing that, just a couple of things I wanted to bring you up to speed on. One, I don't, I think people know, where the state didn't have a budget this year, what they were doing is paying us the state aid the same amount as last year, but they were reducing it each month by, they were reducing, in Cumberland's case, it was $150 something thousand a month because they didn't know where their budget would end up. They've decided that they were going to pay the full amount of state aid, so the money in the budget, we'll get the full amount. And it was $804,000 over the first 6 months they had shorted us. And the finance director notified me this morning that they had received a wire. He asked if that was, I said, yeah, that's the state aid that we've been expecting. So supposedly he wired it today, so I'll check our accounts tomorrow to make sure it went through. But so that was good news. So we know we're in all set with the state aid. The other thing, I met with the mayor the other day talking a little bit about our budget, and the mayor is and when we get into the report, we're still showing that we have somewhat of a positive balance. The mayor wants to amend his budget and us to amend our budget to remove, because he doesn't think we're going to need it, the $400,000 for the town appropriation healthcare that he had said that we would get if needed. So I said, it looks like we probably can do that. We won't need it, but if we do, he then said, no, then we would have to amend the budget again. So, but I guess there are items in his budget that he wants to do some budget transfers with. And so he would like us to do that. I haven't done anything with that yet. And, we just talked about it the other day. I think he came in, I forget, Monday or Tuesday. So that's one thing. And then the last thing, I was on a RIASBO call today, and they were talking about some of the money that's going to be coming to the schools in Rhode Island. And just as the presentation started, we had a fire drill, and I had to run out of the building. So I missed a good part of the presentation, but I texted some people this afternoon to, we'll find out more in the next few days. But apparently there's two pots of money coming, an ESSA pot 2. Now, our ESSA, the first time we got ESSA was about $525,000. This ESSA amount's going to be 4 times higher, so it should be over $2 million. I'm not sure what the requirements will be yet. It usually all comes with some type of strings attached, and we'll find out. And then the Biden, almost said Obama, the Biden bill that passed that he signed into law today, the America Recovery Act. The amount of money we'll get in that's going to be that should be 8 times higher than our ESSA money. So might be $4 million there coming, but it's going to come over years. It's not all coming like tomorrow. It's going to come over a number of years. So, and I think some of that money, obviously, can't all be for sanitizer, right? $4 million. I think some of that money is going to be allowed for capital items and that type of stuff. So we may be able to, because we know that it's not in the bond issue. Maybe that'll be the way we can finally do the high school boilers that Bob and I and Mike and Will worry about every time it's cold. If they're gonna fail, because we've had some failure there before, and they need to be replaced. So those are just a few things that this week that thought would be worth mentioning. And getting to the report, I've been putting on the last couple of months a summary on the last page. And if you see that in December, if we go to that last page, in December, we were talking about at the time maybe a small shortfall of 115,000. Then January, I was looking at a number about 489 to the good, and February that number slipped back a little bit. And basically, that's fallen back on the revenue side. Some of it's self-imposed. We have an RX rebates that we're going to get this year, the first year of switching over to the WB community. I had 6 months coming in this year's budget and 6 months coming in next year's budget. Because of the difficulty in finding solutions to next year, that second quarter will come in July of next year, and I'm going to let it stay in next year's budget. So I'm going to take 3 months this year and 9 months next year to help. So that's a $94,000 reduction in revenues this year by choice more than anything else. I think we need it more in next year's budget. And then the other thing in the Medicaid area, I talked with Rachel about this. She's a few months behind in billing for certain services, but we've only collected $141,000 against a $500,000 budget as of February. And I brought that, I was showing about, last year we collected about 450,000, and I was showing a $50,000 shortfall. I bumped that up to about 100,000 right now. If it doesn't happen, great, but I'm building myself some conservatism there in that number. And that's about the major differences there. Oh, also I added in I added in the Wi-Fi that we approved last month for the $156,000. Now, that should net us $99,000, and Mike's in the process of checking when that reimbursement would come in. You know, it's going to cost us $99,000, but we had to lay out $156,000. So I don't know if that will happen in this year, next year. I've taken the worst case approach at this point right now. Just put the 156 in. That money comes in, it'll improve our number by that 50-something thousand. So if there are any questions, I'm happy to answer any, but you know, we're still trending a positive, you know, in a positive way. It also, let me just flip to the page. Also in that number, I assume that we'll be able to do something to settle a contract with Durham, and also to put some money aside for Tony's, not Tony's, but the curriculum areas expenditure layout they're going to have over the next few years. I'd like to try to put some money aside to take care of next year's, put it in a fund balance reserve for that, and be able to use it next year to help with next year's budget. So those two things are included, and I still think we can just about we can be okay though. 349, you know, is a pretty small number. It's like a 0.5% of our budget. So things could happen, but that could change that. But I'm hopeful we'll be okay.
All right, anyone have questions for Alex? Go ahead, Mr. Smith.
Thank you. Alex.
Hi, Carrie.
Hi, love the haircut.
Carrie, you're not the only one.
Just wanted to ask, my understanding of the money that is going to be coming in from the 1.9 trillion that was just signed and
Yep.
passed with Congress. Yes, I've understood it that Cumberland is looking to potentially get 4 million. However, my understanding also is that that money is going to be given with a spending date to not
Yeah.
exceed 23 or 2023 or something like that.
Yeah.
So has it been defined that no, we're only going to get a certain percentage each of those years then? Or is it?
Yeah,
we
I
can
don't
spend
have
it
that
those
information
years?
yet. Like I said, the RIDE people didn't even really have those details
Okay.
today. They were just talking about it very generally, and like I said, I ran out of the building because they made me leave, and then I came back in, and I just texted the person that did the presentation, and he just told me, you know, the ESSA money will be about 4 times what you were getting, and the state money will be
Right.
about 8 times of your ESSA money that you got last year. So I didn't get into much detail on how it can be spent, other than I know it'll be and I only hear that, I only know this from listening to satellite radio going home. They were talking a little bit about the plan, and they said that some of that money will be able to be used for capital items in schools. So
Right.
that's about all I know right now. But as soon as I know more, I'll let everyone know. And you people
Right.
might hear before me, and some of your, super school committee meetings you go to and stuff like that. So.
Okay. Yeah, and it would be interesting too to hear from RIDE on how they're specifically
Right.
Calculating that, because my understanding was that they were going to be doing it based on population. But it seems that just looking at the numbers that have been proposed, or that they're going to be giving over,
Yep.
it certainly.
There's those 2 plots of money. Plus, the town has also got before this AR money, they've already got a commitment of $2 million in COVID money. 2,216,000. I think I saw the award that was sent out. So they're sitting on some money also. So, but
Okay. And my second question then is about, I believe you said Dr. Santa and the billing is a few months behind. Is that correct? Are we going to find a way to get that caught up?
oh yeah, I think she's caught it up, but now she told me she had been a couple of months behind in getting it in, and she was catching it all up. And she said the 3 months that she caught up were pretty heavy months. So, we'll see what the number looks like. But yeah, it's just, with everything going on, there's the money, that's not like if you don't get the money in a certain, you don't get it. You've got to, So,
Thank you.
Mr. Collins?
Hey, Alex.
Dennis, how are you?
I too like the haircut. I was wondering about the fund balance. It looks like we haven't touched that yet. Is there any potential we may have some savings there?
Well, no, the fund balance in this report, if you look at it, it shows no shortfall in the fund balance. So this report makes the assumption that it'll all be used.
Okay, fair enough. Sorry, I misread it.
So theoretically, what would happen if we ran a $349,000, the number that I have on the sheet, you would use $349,000 less of fund balance that you would have to take in. But all those zeros mean that there's no variance and that we will be taking it in.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
Alex, I have a question for you. On page 9 of the report, you have health insurance claims and the admin fee of $8,640,541, and you're projecting as of June 30th to only be down $2,000, but in normal times, we're into July and August before we get the final tally for bills for healthcare claims that may have happened at the end of June that, flowing through the system. So my question is, why would we want to readjust our budget yet for the $400,000 that the mayor's promised to cover?
Well, even if we
healthcare
would
costs?
even if we would overspend healthcare, if we overspend healthcare by $200,000, but had $1 million surplus, we wouldn't be anticipating the mayor to cover that 200,000. It was the overall budget. If we were going to have a deficit, the mayor would step up with that $400,000. If we ran a shortfall in healthcare for $250,000 and had a deficit, he'd come up with the 250 and make us whole in the healthcare piece. And the reason it's so small this year is because with WB Community, we have a set amount we pay each month. The activity of claims, where we end up with claims, whether we overspend that number or not, that will all be reflected when they recalculate rates next year. And so you could see an increase in the rate, or, I would doubt you'd ever see a reduction, but maybe a smaller increase. Right now, in talking with, because I wanted the number for next year's budget, in talking with the town's healthcare consultant, Mr. Khaleesi, he had said we were running about 4.8%, looking at about a 4.8% increase. And so in next year's budget right now, I've got 5% in for that number. Now we'll see by the time we get, he sent me an email today actually and told me February was a pretty good month. So we track it every month, but so that's why there's no variance there though, because you're just paying. If claims were $1 million last month and our set number that we're supposed to pay is 700,000, we just pay 700,000.
Right, but I'm
That
kind of.
300,000 would be all washed into the next rates.
Right, but right now, we're only projected for a surplus of 346,000.
Right,
On page 9.
right.
And if Medicare is running a couple of months behind and we may not get all the money before July 1st, and if we carry some of it over, our projected positive cash flow could not be 346, it could be 146. We don't know exactly until the end. I'm leery about, voting to,
Well, we
return.
don't have to do anything right now. He's going to make that adjustment, what I would just do is reduce that $400,000 and I would take it from some savings that we have in the budget, Glycol, for it was one place, a couple other places, charter schools, and reduce those expenditure budgets and reduce the revenue by 400,000, would amount to bringing the budget from 74,548 to 74,148 on both sides.
Okay.
But if we have a shortfall, he agreed that he'd be on the hook for whatever up till that shortfall in healthcare, up to whatever that shortfall might be.
All right, does anyone else have a question in regards to the budget summary report that Alex had put in the drive? Okay, hearing none, we'll move forward. There is no, Sean is not here for Sedesco Food Services report. So we'll move to facilities report. Will, welcome.
Good evening. The only thing I can pass along is that we've been doing a lot of walkthroughs with the vendors that are looking at the trans and the high school. And we met with the architect today over at Cumberland Hill.
And do we have have we gotten any estimate of what pricing could be if we converted the entrance space in front of the high school for guidance and the school resource officer and so forth?
I'm waiting for Toronto to finish up on those prints so we can put that in the paper.
Okay,
I'll just add, we were over with the walkthrough today at Cumberland Hill. Will, Mike and I, along with the Toronto's people, and the plans that they laid, the description of the, we didn't see any drawings or anything, but they were describing some of the things they're going to do and stuff. It's really going to be pretty attractive when they're all done. It's going to be just what we wanted as far as curb appeal and the other things we're looking to get done.
and do we know if E&E has ordered the unit vents yet or anything for the trans building?
No,
I believe not.
the building committee met last week, and the Colliers told them that they felt we should go off the state bid list with E&E's on, and that there would be savings by doing both projects at once, because your soft costs wouldn't be, you wouldn't have double soft costs on two different projects type of thing.
Right,
And so what Paul Murphy is doing is, and he's trying to really make sure he has everything covered when he submits his estimate. And we're looking to do something with that. Well, the next building committee was scheduled for April 12th, but the mayor said that he can call one at any time, really, if we need to get that together when we want to award that when Paul submits his bid, as long as it seems to be in line with what the two estimators have come up with, so that we can get those things ordered. So we expect that to happen in the next 2 weeks.
okay. All right, anyone else have any questions they thought of? All right, so we will move on from Will, and we'll go to the next is discussion into a vote to approve resolution SCPR 03/2021-07, which is payment for stage 3 services for Toronto Architects. This is for work at the Cumberland Hill Elementary School and the Cumberland High School swing space. The amount is $82,070.21. The payment is coming from the $79 million bond. And they've submitted the paperwork with an invoice. And I need a motion to approve.
Motion to approve.
Motion by Mr. Collins,
Second.
second by Mrs. Smith. Anyone have any questions in regards to this?
No.
Hearing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Ayes have it 3-0. Then we have the CHS activity report, which normally gets filed. We have public comment. Anyone from the public that would like to address the finance subcommittee, please state your name and address for the record. Mr. Chandler, do you see anyone raising their hand from the public to speak?
No, not at this time.
You see none. All right. Give it a moment, and then we will take a motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion by Mr. Collins,
Second.
second by Mrs. Smith. All in favor?
Aye.
Ayes have it 3-0. We are adjourned at 5:41 PM. And we'll see you, I guess, at 6 o'clock. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.